Hey, what's good? Welcome to Conversationalist Corner, a podcast that explores the world of conversation. My name is Paul Larson, and I'm here with my co-host, Jacob White. Super excited to have you here, and we hope that as you listen in today, that you learn the things that enable you to have the best conversations anytime, any place, and with anybody. Alrighty. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it might be, wherever you are. Welcome back. We're glad to have everyone here today.
Yes, we are. We're super excited to be here for another episode of the Conversationalist Corner.
Yeah. How are you doing, Jacob?
Doing pretty good. We got a pretty exciting episode for you guys today. But before that, we wanted to just give a short life update. Not quite as extensive as the last one since it's not been as long. But yeah, we just wanted to give you a short update. So it's been how many days, Paul? Like 4 or 5 days since we recorded last?
Yeah, it's Tuesday. I think we recorded on a Thursday.
Maybe even a Friday.
No. It was a Thursday because I had to go to work after.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, it's only been a couple days, but
Yeah.
we are excited to be back.
We golfed on Thursday. We recorded on Friday.
We recorded on Friday.
Because I went to Preston's.
Okay.
But
Well,
anyways.
What not to do. Just kidding. Yeah, so Jake, what's been new in the past little while?
It's only been a couple days. I think the most exciting thing that I did was what?
Can I go?
Yeah, you go.
Okay. You know what the most exciting thing is that we did?
What's that?
We had a birthday dinner for Jake.
That was pretty fun, yeah.
Yeah, we went all over, and Jacob's wife made a wonderful meal, a nice little Sunday roast, and
We had like a grandma's dinner.
yeah, we did. It was super yummy. They also made a pie. Jacob and his wife also made a pie. I made a pavlova, if any of you know what that is.
It's delicious.
It's very yummy.
Try it.
Hit me up if you want some. I'll make it for you. Yeah, that was super fun. We literally just ate dinner and hang out together all evening.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
We just sat and talked.
Yeah, we ate dinner.
It's so fun to have friends, guys. Like friends that you can just hang out with and
talk till
and talk to, and you just like,
I know it was just a good time. I think that's probably the highlight of the last couple of days.
yeah.
Was just that.
I think we're both moving in more solidly now. Like we're both getting more moved in.
Yeah, just really settling into our places where we're living, getting ready for school. It starts up tomorrow, so that's super exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty cool.
I don't think we really did anything else, did we?
No, not really. Not anything of note.
Yeah, no. We had church on Sunday,
Yeah, church was good.
so
Watched
that was good.
BYU football game.
Should be why you did smoke. We also went over to Jacob's house for the football game, so
That was pretty fun.
just catch me at Jacob's house apparently in all my free time.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, that's life so far, and it's been really good. But like Jacob mentioned earlier, as good as life is, we are not going to give up on this podcast because we love it and we've got some great ideas for y'all.
Yes, we do.
And we wanted to start off. This is the real kind of episode 1 where we have the meat of like content. And we figured that we'd take a couple episodes and talk about some of the resources that we feel like have shaped us as conversationalists so that you kind of understand kind of where our perspective, where our heuristics come from. And then we can also refer back to these resources throughout the podcast, and then you kind of know what we're talking about and where you can find similar information.
Yeah, we really wanted to just kind of share this so that while we're referencing it in later episodes, you guys are also familiar with it. Hopefully, these next couple episodes will hopefully give you guys the initiative to go and also explore these resources for yourself, so that you guys can also become better conversationalists and just I don't know. It just is a good stuff for life. So the one that we're going to be focusing on today is a book that has been how do you say it? What's that phrase?
You're gonna have to give me more than that.
It's
generational.
Yeah, it's a generational book. It's
legendary. It's canonical.
I don't know. It's been time tested over the last almost 100 years.
Yeah, this is kind of like what we're doing is we're introducing our conversational canon,
For real.
and this is one of the holy books.
Yeah. So this book, if you're not familiar with it, it's called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
It's by Dale Carnegie.
Paul and I both have a copy of it sitting next to us.
I actually have multiple copies, but I lost most of them, so I only have one right now. Actually, this is my grandparents.
I don't have mine with me. I have my wife's with me. It's a book that was written by Dale Carnegie in 1937. Well, it was written over a lot of years, but he released it the first time in 1937, and it has stood the test of time. There we go. That's the phrase I was looking for earlier.
There we go.
And as I was preparing for this, just a little side note, I was thinking like, dang, like my great grandpa could have read this book. Like it's that old.
Yeah.
Like my grandpa was born in 1945, so his dad was probably, I don't know how old, but
yeah, he was probably born in the
1920s, 1910 teens. I don't know.
Yeah, my great grandma was born in like 19 something teens.
Yeah, so I don't know.
She was like born in 1920.
Pretty cool to think that the principles that are in this book are kind of, I don't know, timeless,
universal.
Almost. Yeah, they
infinite, immortal.
They were applicable then. They're still applicable now.
Yeah,
and will probably be applicable for the rest of human life.
Yeah. So Jacob, I mean, you mentioned that this book is really old and whatever. So I'm curious, like, how did you get a hold of this book? Like, how are you introduced to it? Was it your great grandparents?
No, it wasn't. But it was. So it was during COVID, actually.
Really?
Funnily enough, as a kid, like a young kid, probably from like the day I learned to read books, like Dick and Jane, up until probably 6th, 7th grade, I loved reading. Then I kind of stopped reading. Shocker.
No.
Didn't like reading.
You should throw in a sound effect.
As a kid.
Anyways.
And then didn't work. Anyways. As a kid, I stopped reading, and then during COVID, I was like, well, no, I don't have anything to do. Like, I didn't have a phone at the time, so I couldn't doom scroll all day. Those the good old days. Yeah. And so my mom, she got some books from a friend, and the copy that I had was green, nothing on the cover, just something.
Kind of like the one that Preston has.
No, very different. Like
really?
Probably from like the 70s.
Okay.
It's like it was an old book, like the binding was coming off the back. But I started reading it, and I was like, this is probably the first or second book I read back after like my hiatus of no reading, like anti-reading phase.
Jacob does read a lot though now.
Yeah, this book is what launched me into my love for reading again. So I pretty much just sat in my room, which if you know me is not like me. I never sat in my room. I would always be outside, especially I very distinctly remember sitting in my room. It was super sunny outside. Like super nice spring, Washington spring was a really beautiful spring and summer that year of COVID. But yeah, I just sat in my room and I devoured this book, just like ate it up, like hours, which is not like me, even to this day.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna read a book, I'll read it for like an hour or two, and it will take me a couple weeks. I think I finished this book in like 4 or 5 days. It's not a huge book, but for me, that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
So that was like my first introduction to this book, and I just like as soon as I read it, I was like, okay, I need to give this copy back, but I need my own. I need my own copy so I can write. Because like in the beginning, he talks about how you should read it with a pen in hand and
read it twice.
And so I was like, I need to read it again. And so that kind of launched, and I've read it who knows how many times now.
Dang, that's super cool.
What about you, Paul?
I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that it was during COVID that you read this.
Yeah.
So my story begins a little earlier. I was probably 14.
Dang.
If not, like in between, maybe 14, probably maybe 13.
Yeah.
It was my grandma that actually gave it to me. So she wasn't born in the 20s, but she is a little bit older than I am. And it's kind of one of the, it's like I distinctly remember her giving me the book. I don't remember exactly what was said in that moment, but she was pretty much like, dude, like you have to read. She didn't say dude. She didn't say dude, but she was like, you have to read this book because it well, I don't know. I think she was worried about us, honestly. And worried about our manners or something like that, which is valid. There's not many 14-year-old boys that have manners. But yeah, she gave it to me. Each kid in my family got their own copy.
Oh, that's cool.
Or at least me and my older sister got our own copies. I know that. But yeah, I didn't read it quite like you did, where I read it all in one go. But yeah. I definitely read it pretty quickly and pretty consistently. And it definitely became like canonical. Like I would joke around with people. I'd be like, yeah, like it's the Holy Scriptures, and then it's
how to influence people.
Yeah. And that's like,
it's a joke, but it's also kind of
it's a joke, but I feel like this has been, maybe not on a spiritual level, but has been very formative for me.
Yeah.
And I think, and one thing that I was actually mentioning to Jacob a little bit earlier is that I feel like this book actually shaped my ability to talk to people at a very, very young age. I've always been a people person. I've always been relatively talkative.
Yeah.
Or at least I don't care about other people. But this book really kind of gave me the tools how to. And for that, I love it. And for that, I'm so thankful for it. And that is why I preach it to people. That's why I share it with people, because it really changed my life in the way that I don't know. Like I feel like it gave me grown up social skills at a young age.
It does a really good job of that.
And I mean, I was always like, I like to think I was mature, but it's really, I love it. Here's what my book looked like. I think my grandma bought like 20 of these. This is one from their house.
Oh gosh. Wow.
But yeah, they have multiple copies of their house. But yeah, special anniversary edition. What's good? Yeah. But yeah, I really am thankful for it, and it changed the kind of helped me be who I am socially.
Yeah. And because we love it so much, we kind of want to share a couple of the principles, not too many. We want you guys to go and explore it for yourself as well. But we wanted to share a couple of the ones that really have helped us, especially when it comes to having good conversations and becoming good conversationalists.
Yeah.
And so we'll be pulling mostly from the part 2. I think there's 3 or 4 parts of this book, and this is chapter 2, 3, and 4.
Do we want to start off with chapter 1?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll start with the very first chapter. The very first chapter is pretty awesome. It's called "If You Want to Gather Honey, Don't Kick Over the Beehive," I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, really great.
Pull it up.
That's like the first principle of the book. So that's kind of the first principle we want to talk about. So the first chapter of the whole book
is called if you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. And the principle that goes along with it is don't criticize, condemn, or complain.
Yeah. I think within being a conversationalist, I think we've all had a conversation where we're just like talking to someone who's like just chronically complaining, or or even someone who's just like kind of talks negatively about other people, and it's never really fun to have a conversation with them. So I guess within like the framework of having good conversations, I think it's important not to criticize. There's the cool thing about this book specifically, at least what really stood out to me that I really like, is Dale Carnegie does a really good job of gathering lots of really cool stories of all sorts of different type of people. So like in this chapter, he has a story about Abe Lincoln during the Civil War. It's really cool to hear about a story where Abe Lincoln is pretty heated. He's pretty upset. Where one of the armies that was fighting, they made a big tactical error, and he was pretty upset because it could have won them the Civil War earlier and would have saved a lot of people's lives. And when he heard about it, he wrote a big fat letter, and it was pretty condemning to the general. I can't remember his name.
See if I can find it. Keep talking though.
But I think it's General Meade.
Yep, there it is.
And so he just wrote a fuming letter, full of emotion, just absolutely ripping apart General Meade. But he never sent it. And why was that? Because he took time to calm down and realize this is not something that this is not how I want to represent myself as a president of the United States and even as a person.
Yeah.
And I think that as we think about how we present ourselves to others, being able to be level-headed and be able to be kind when it would be easier to emotionally react negatively is a skill that is really beautifully displayed in this first chapter.
Yeah. And one thing I think is interesting about this book is that it is filled with do's. Like it is do this, do this, do this.
Yeah.
And I might be incorrect, but I feel like this is the only principle that's a don't. And
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
it's pretty powerful that it's at the it is the first chapter. Yeah, we can look through the principles really quick, but I'm pretty sure they're all just do's.
It's all, I mean, maybe not starting with the word do, but they are actions.
Right. They're actions,
To
positive
do.
actions,
Positive
things
actions,
to add
not
to your life.
To not do.
But this is the first one, and it's a don't. And I think it's powerful that he pretty much goes in and he says, criticism, condemnation, complaints, those are absolutely worthless to you. And that is like, here's some beautiful stories, end of conversation.
Yeah, it's pretty...
Almost blunt.
Yeah, like very thoughtful that this is the first thing we're going to say. Like,
right. You can't go anywhere. Like if you are doing any one of these things, it does not matter how much of this book you read or how many principles you implement, because this just, like you lose all credit as a conversationalist. You people aren't going to want to be.
You're
around
not going to progress as a conversationalist, or just you're not going to be able to build better relationships if you're complaining, if you're criticizing.
Yeah, right.
Like it's an end all be all.
Yeah, you can't. There can't be a coexistence of criticism, condemnation, and complaint with the rest of these other principles, because it'll just absolutely negate them. So that's something that I think is powerful and something to keep in mind. If you feel like that's something that you find yourself doing, take note of it and make some goals. Like I said, this book has got some great suggestions.
Yeah, it really does.
Let you read them and kind of do your own soul searching. But please take time and erase criticism, condemnation, and complaints from your life, because it'll make you a happier person and your relationships will truly, explode. That would be great. Flourish is a great word for it.
Yeah.
But enough said about that.
So I did just look at it's the only don't.
Perfect. There we go. Proven.
Pretty cool.
But let's start talking about a couple of the do's, and this is when we're going to go into part 2. I'm going to do chapters 2, 3, and 4. Part 2 is called 6 Ways to Make People Like You, and that might sound super shallow.
Yeah, it does. The first time I read it, I was like, that's pretty shallow.
Well, what's interesting to me actually is that I have gotten a lot of but criticism, condemnation, I don't know. But a lot of people, whenever I tell them like, oh, this is like one of my favorite books, like this is top 3 book out of all that I've read.
I agree.
It's like The Little Prince, How to Influence and Influence People, and Anna Karenina. Not in any order, but those are the 3 very different books.
I agree, minus the last one. I don't know what that is. I would put Shoe Dog, but that's just me personally.
As you can tell, he likes those types of books. But yeah, people don't be like, don't be prideful. Just don't.
Yeah.
Like you be like, oh, I already know how. I don't need a book to tell me how to win friends and influence people. I already have lots of friends.
I think the influence.
But guess what?
Comes across a little negative.
You complain. You criticize. You don't do these things.
Even we don't do these things.
We don't even do these things, but we're
trying.
Yeah. Well, and I actually had a really cool experience with my brother, where someone had told him like, oh, like it's too repetitive. It is like
it is.
There is repetition in it, but the way that it's told the stories, you don't like. It's repetitive in the fact that it's all helping you. I don't know. I don't think it's repetitive in its message or the actual content.
The principles are all different. They range through so many different things through the entire book.
And so my brother for years was like, refused to read it.
Really?
Because he was just like, no, like I don't need to read it. I don't like this is preaching to the choir, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was all because just one individual in his life was like, yeah, it's a waste of time. Granted, I can guarantee that this individual who said that, he's a close friend of mine, actually a family member. was like, don't read it. And I was like, no, you need to read this. And he just was didn't want to read it. And I was like, man, this could be really helpful for you. And then that leads to my brother, and my brother didn't read it, but finally he read it, or at least parts of it before he's right now on a church mission. And he read it and he was like, dang, I could have used this in high school.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's what I was telling you.
But at least he came around.
Shout out to my brother. I love him so much.
Yeah.
And it might sound like I'm criticizing him, but that's just a story. Don't mind my stories.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so
sorry. Back to the dues.
Yeah, the second principle of the second chapter of part 2 is the chapter title is A Simple Way to Make a Good First Impression. And of course, the principle is to smile, which in conversation seems kind of interesting because it's not really like, this is how you have great first impression, like be charming in what you say or blah, 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 but simply just smile. And once again, Dale Carnegie does a great job of gathering all sorts of different stories about people who have implemented this into their life and the results that they've seen. But I think that being able to smile at someone, either in a conversation with them or just in passing, makes them feel better.
Right.
It makes them feel like you are not, standoffish. When I don't know, oftentimes when you're walking around,
just immediately opens doors.
Yeah, it does. It immediately opens doors.
Social
walls
doors
come down to some extent, and it is just a good way to kind of, I think it's like, it's pretty self-explanatory, but also it's like so simple that people forget to do it.
Yeah.
And I think we become kind of lazy with smiling, that we can become grumpy looking, and it can be hard to approach us.
Right.
And it seems less inviting.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that Dale, or Mr. Carnegie, whatever you want to refer to him, he actually pulls in a lot of different materials from a lot of different cultures, which I found to be interesting because this is something that transcends cultures. He talks about one of the ones that I like is an ancient Chinese proverb that says, "A man without a smiling face must not open a shop." And then also he shares a beautiful poem called "The Value of a Smile at Christmas," and it goes, "It costs nothing but creates much. It enriches those who receive without impovering those who give. It happens in a flash, and the memory of it sometimes lasts forever. None are so rich they can get along without it, and none so poor but are richer for its benefits. It creates happiness in the home, fosters goodwill in a business, and is a countersign of friends. It is rest to the weary, daylight to the discouraged, sunshine to the sad, and nature's best antidote for trouble. Yet it cannot be bought, begged, borrowed, or stolen, for it is something that is no earthly good to anybody till it is given away. And if in the last minute rush of Christmas buying, some of our salespeople should be too tired to give you a smile, may we ask you to leave one of yours, for no one needs a smile so much as those who have none left to give." And obviously this doesn't just mean for Christmas, but
yeah,
being always ready to share a smile.
Yeah, I agree. It's a really great poem, and it really does share the power of a smile. And I guess one last thing that I'd like to share, just from the book, about the smile is near the very beginning of the chapter on my book. It's the first page. It says, "Action speaks louder than words, and a smile says, 'I like you. You make me happy, and I'm glad to see you.'" And I think that's something that we don't understand always, because I think people want to be told that. They want to be told those words,
Right.
but I also think that a smile has the same exact effect.
Yeah.
Being able to smile and say, hey, like non-verbally, like, "I'm glad to see you."
Right.
Seeing you, just your face,
Yeah.
makes me happy.
Well, and the thing about the people in our lives, one person comes to mind particularly, our buddy Alex, who
Yeah.
neighbor of ours. This dude, Alex,
Biggest
I hope
smile.
that you're listening. He sees you from a distance, whatever it is. When you encounter him, he lights up.
Just
He
ear to ear.
smile. He calls your name. He smiles, and that smile literally is enough to just make me forget about whatever hard things I'm going through. that day.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I don't even know Alex that well.
Yeah.
Like, we were in the same apartment complex for the last little bit. We went to the same church building, and but I never really don't think I had an extensive conversation with Alex. But every single time I see him,
Yeah.
boom, he's smiling big. He's like, Jacob, how's it going? Or just saying hello. And it's not that he said anything special. It's just the way he smiles when he sees someone. And it's everyone. It's not like just us or just people. It's everyone I've ever seen him talk to is just he's elated to see them. And it's just beautiful because the effect that he's having isn't like he's changing lives through his words. Yeah. It's just through his smile. Yeah. And it's incredible, the power that his smile and everyone's smile has the capability to do the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, or I also remember just moments whenever, like, sometimes, like, just being around friends and you just smile at each other and it's like
it's a good time.
It's my dog. I love this person, you know?
It feels like that after we hit pause or end on the end of every recording of this podcast,
we're ripping big smiles.
Huge smiles, just like ear to ear.
And while we're recording, if you don't watch the videos, I imagine you'll watch them.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's a small thing. One thing that the book counsels us is that if you don't feel like smiling, fake it till you make it, essentially. Like, just force yourself to smile, and before you know it, you'll start to feel it. Because feelings and actions go together, which kind of brings us to our next point. We'll try to make this point a little bit quicker. But the next principle is, let's see what the chapter name is if you don't do this, you're headed for trouble. Yeah. And then the principle is, remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. And I don't know, Jacob, what do you have to say about that?
I don't know. This one's like underrated.
Underrated.
Like 100%.
Totally.
I think,
this and birthdays.
Yeah, this and birthdays. It's a shame we're not going to be able to go over it with birthdays, but
we'll throw it out in another
read
podcast.
Read the book. Man, the people's names. Just the simple being able to, like, remember someone's name and be like, oh, hey, how's it going, Paul? Or, for example, like, I'm not ripping on this person, but, like, I'm just recently moved into a new apartment with my wife, and we go to a new church congregation, and we've gone for 2 weeks now, and we met some people on the first week, and some of those same people came back to us on the second week, and they couldn't remember our names. They came up to us and said someone else's name, so it was like, like, I don't, like, think less of that person, right. But I would have probably thought a lot higher of them if they had remembered my name and been like, oh, how's it going, Jacob and Natalie? Like, how was your guys' week? We're glad to see you again. And for me, I'm guilty too, because I couldn't remember the guy's name. So I felt bad. So I'm not perfect at it, but to be able to remember someone's name and be like, oh, how's it going?
And I think that this also, side note, is not just for people that you are just meeting. I think it's really important to include people's names in your conversations with them. Yeah. No matter how long you've been talking to them, no matter who they are, no matter what your relationship is. Saying someone's name just kind of instantly brings the heart back into it. You know, if I'm just,
a lot of people at stores or establishment have name tags, and so I think one of the coolest things to do is be like, in a grocery store checkout line, cashiers. I've been a cashier. It's not the most glamorous and fun job, so sometimes they can look a little down. Right. So I think they could
use a smile.
They could use a smile first of all when you come up to the counter. Hey, how's it going? Like, a big smile would brighten their day. And sometimes they don't reciprocate. That's okay. Right. But at the end of the interaction or even at the beginning, being like, how's it going? And read their name tag. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're reading their name tag. You've just met them. They're not like, hi, I'm Nancy. I'm your cashier today. You say, how's it going, Nancy? Yeah. And for them, it will probably shock them. Yeah. They'll probably be like, oh, hey, how's it going?
No, totally. Well, and one thing too is, like, It will bring a smile. Even if you don't smile, but if you say someone's name, odds are they'll smile. Just practice it.
People love hearing their name.
And that's the thing you're right. It doesn't even have to be like memorizing someone's name, because you might not see this cashier ever again. Yeah. Right? And they have a name tag, so you can look at it. Yeah. So you don't even have to ask their name. You can just mention it, and it will brighten their day. And I actually just had an experience with this the other week. I was in Chicago, grabbing some groceries with my cousin, and lady's checking this out, and I was like, well, how's it going, Nikia? Because that's her name. And not only did she love that I said her name, second of all, she also loved that I pronounced it right.
Correctly.
Because a lot of people say, I don't know, Nakia, yeah, something like that. And I know that can be hard if a name is unfamiliar to you. So ask, hey, like, I noticed your name. Like, that seems super cool. Do you pronounce it this way, or how would you pronounce that, right? And then that will, imagine.
That opens doors.
Well, imagine how seen it'll make someone feel. If you're like, you know what, I care enough about your name that I'm going to make sure that I say it right.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to practice it. And then I'm going to say it in front of you. Right. That just, and I kid you not, that has been one of the happiest moments that I've had in public. Like, not, just like with random people. That has been one of the happiest moments that I can think of in recent history.
Yeah.
And just saying her name right. And I just felt like we were friends.
Yeah.
Like her and I. Like, I feel like
it's an instant connection.
I was like, man, like, you know what? You can come over to my house and share these groceries if you want, Nikita.
Yeah.
So yeah, just, and
it's that simple.
And you're right. It does take energy. It does take,
especially for people you're going to see over and over again.
Totally. Right. But there's a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
In this book. And it says, it says, all this takes time, but, open quote, good manners are made up of petty sacrifices, close quote. And I think that's true. Sacrifice a little bit of time and brain space for this person's name, and they will love you for it. And that's all I got to say about names.
Yeah.
But that is one just super. I think that out of the four principles that we're kind of going to talk about today,
I think it goes the farthest.
It probably goes. I think that just immediately, like, boom, instant impact could be the biggest. But also, Prince Smile and saying people's names are arguably the easiest.
Easiest for sure.
Right? Criticism and condemnation, like, that's going to take some time.
It takes work
to kind of get that out of your system, and you'll probably never be perfect at it. We're not.
Yeah.
Same with this next one that we're going to mention.
Yeah.
But these are things that I say that you can be perfect at. I mean, this chapter talks about a guy who could name like 50,000 people, could call 50,000 people by his name.
It's incredible.
So make that something that you're good at.
Yeah.
But I know this is already going to be a little bit of a longer podcast than normal. Apologies if that's obnoxious to you, but we have a lot of things to say, so don't complain about it.
Yeah. This last one that we want to get into, chapter 4, is actually the title of the chapter is An Easy Way to Become a Good Conversationalist. So it seems very fitting that this is the last one for today.
Look at that.
And so, that's the title. And the principle is be a good listener, encourage other people to talk about themselves.
Right.
So it seems kind of interesting. If you're a good conversationalist, shouldn't you be very savvy with your words and talking a lot? But Dale Carnegie comes around and he says, hey, like, to be a good conversationalist, you need to be an excellent listener.
Right. And he actually shares this story about he was at a bridge party. That's a card game. For those who don't know. And he started chatting to this lady, and he just started asking her questions about her trip, her garden, whatever it was. And by the end, and then he talks
to a botanist at another party.
At another party, that's right. No, what happens? Okay, I messed up. So at the bridge party, meets a lady who just wants to talk about himself. He didn't really enjoy it. Another party, he meets a botanist, and he asks this botanist tons of questions about plants and gardens and stuff like that.
Talks for
hours. And then the botanist then extends compliments to the host in regards to Dale and refers to him as most
interesting conversationalist
and most stimulating, which I think is an interesting one.
Yeah.
It very makes sense when you're talking about asking questions, right? Those are stimulating things, but then saying that he's a most interesting conversationalist also. So again, it's one thing that you're going to have to practice, but ask questions.
Ask questions. Listen without an expectation that you're giving a return of
a
answer.
Don't ask a question that you want people to ask you. That is in fact, sometimes, not to like be self-righteous here, sometimes I'll ask people a question and I only do this to like my friends. I'm not gonna lie, I don't do this to the random people because that's kind of rude. But I'll ask someone a question and then they'll be like, oh yeah, like, but what about you? I'm like, pause. No, you can ask me that question another day, but I am not talking about myself right now. We are talking about, you. I have another question about what your answer was like, and so we're not gonna flip it, because what often happens is, let's say I ask Jacob a question. Oh, Jacob, like, what's one of your hobbies?
No, I like to run. What about you, Paul?
Well, I like to rock climb.
Okay, end of conversation.
That, or Jacob asked me follow-up questions because I'm the last one who spoke, right? Yep. And then it's an easy way for, I feel like, people use that to start talking about themselves.
Yeah.
But I can't do that. I don't like doing that.
It kills conversations that could be more in-depth, but makes them shallow.
Exactly. And you got to put your foot down sometimes and be like, I'm going to ask the questions here.
Yeah. And it might seem a little bit, I don't know, kind of mean.
Well, you don't even have to say that. You don't have to say that, but it could be a mental resolve.
Like, I'm going to try and ask good questions and make this person talk about themselves.
Right, and you're gonna have to brainstorm it. I remember one time we have
that's true.
No longer a roommate, because Jacob's not a roommate with us, but one of my current roommates. He is great. We were talking about a date that he went on, and he felt like it never got past the surface level, and we spent time just talking about fun conversation.
Yeah.
Questions and get to know you questions that actually kind of led to this podcast in a couple ways. But like, just talk to people about questions, come up with questions, come up with a list. And you can use the same questions for every person, but as long as they are good questions about getting to know people and who they are at their roots, I feel like you will be blessed and you will make people's days. That was actually one of the focuses of our first kind of attempt at this podcast.
Yeah.
Was asking people like fun questions and interesting get to know you questions.
Yeah, totally. And I think you'll find the questions that pull more out of people than others.
Right. And it depends
on asking people how their day is probably going to end at good, or it's been all right.
Unless this person is like super talkative or has something crazy going on.
Or unless it's like your best friend and you usually have in-depth conversations about your day.
Correct.
So it's not, you'll find the questions that are going to help you.
I think the problem with it, like, there are certain questions that are expected to have a surface level response.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Like if you ask someone,
within how certain cultures.
Right. Okay. I'm talking about Western American culture right now. If you ask someone how their day is going, like, or if I ask Jacob, whatever, people usually expect to hear good, fine, whatever. People don't say that they're not doing well.
Nope.
To random people that they aren't super close with, and they usually don't expound. Like the one sentence
it's like,
is made.
It's been all right.
It's been good. Like, I've been like super busy with work and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's it.
And, or you could be like, and we're about to enter the first week of school, so we're actually going to be talking about this more in a future podcast.
Yeah.
But you get to know someone here in college, and, what are you studying? Where are you from?
Very one-word, two-word answers.
Right. And they're like, because they're so monotonous and so repetitive, like, people don't actually feel like you want to get to know them.
It doesn't feel
it feels like you're putting, like, people are just trying to find identifiers for you.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to
box.
They're trying to find boxes to put you into.
Oh, this is the box we're putting you in.
Yeah, exactly. And so ask people a question that actually makes them feel like you want to get to know them, and you're not just interested about statistics or, like base whatever.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
You're better than that. We believe in you.
Yeah. Ask stimulating questions. Be a most interesting conversationalist. Last thing before we kind of wrap this whole podcast up, I want to share one kind of story from this last chapter that we were talking about.
Yeah, go for
it. It's a kid and his mom. It says, one evening she was sitting in the kitchen with her son, Robert. And after a brief discussion of something that was on his mind, Robert said, "Mom, I know you love me very much." Miss Espinosa was touched and said, "Of course I love you very much. Did you doubt it?" Robert responded, "No, but I really know you love me because whenever I talk to you about something, you stop whatever you're doing and listen to me." And I think for that, I don't know how old this little Robert kid is, but I'm imagining in my mind for the purposes of my imagination, and this is a 5, 6, 7-year-old kid.
Yeah.
He's a kid, but he has seen something in his mother that is beautiful. That every time he has something he wants to ask her or talk about, she takes the time to listen to him and stop whatever we're doing. And I think in this day and age, we're so we're trying to do as much as we can in as little time as possible.
Right.
And so we sacrifice the conversations we're having by doing some homework while also having conversation, or while we're having a conversation, being on our phone, or just doing more than one thing. And I think it's really hard to find someone who gives you their full attention these days.
Yeah. And if you are on your phone while someone's talking to you, I have no words. I actually have a lot of words, but I'm not going to say them.
We'll keep it to no words.
We'll keep it to no words. But that is one of the biggest things that I notice is people checking their phones, being on their phones.
Put it out of sight.
Even if this is, and one thing that bothers me is this, people feel like it sometimes is acceptable during group conversations because they're like, oh, like someone else can pay attention.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to.
I'm guilty of it.
That is not right. And that's something that didn't even exist when Brother Carnegie was alive.
Wasn't even thought of.
Phones were not a thing. Doom scrolling, nada. Please don't do that.
Don't go on your phone while someone's talking to you, especially in a one-on-one.
And
especially on a one-on-one.
or
Put it out of sight. Don't
like,
put it in your pocket. Put it in your backpack.
What is more important? I mean, granted,
don't put it on the table.
Think about this. What is more important than this person? If your phone call is life-saving for someone, sure, take the call. Or if if like it's some emergency, for sure, take care of them. Let them know that you're going to do it. They'll be like, hey, sorry,
this is an emergency.
This is crazy. I got stuff going on. Give me 1 second, right? Shows people that you care. But otherwise, not worth it.
Not worth it.
But you know what is worth it? Reading this book.
Reading this book. Yeah. So that's our wrap up for today. I guess our invitation, kind of homework. I don't know. Try one of these principles out. Try and smile at someone. Try and remember or use someone's name.
Write down a letter of criticism and then burn it.
Yeah. If you're feeling riled up, just write it all down and then don't ever say it.
Yeah. And we are going to be using this book for the continuity, for the long term of this podcast. So you'll definitely hear more about it. And if you want to read it, if you're in the Utah County area, let us know. We can hit you up with a copy.
Got a couple copies lying around.
Right, but if not, just get your own so you can mark it up.
It's like $10 on Amazon.
Yeah, it's great.
This is not sponsored, but we just love this book so much. Yeah, if that resonates with you, go check it out. But yeah, just a little tease for the next episode. We're going to be sharing something pretty similar, another resources we love almost as much as this book. But yeah, be sure to stay tuned for that, and thanks for listening.
All right. We love you guys. Bye.